everyone, how are you? Happy Sunday. I am coming to you live and hopefully we can talk about education and books. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I love books. I read so much. The best place for me to be, me, personal day me, is with a book. And that's how I de-stress and come up with the best ideas. Yeah, to talk to you. Anyways, I'll be right back with the book. Hola, 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 ¿cómo está todo el mundo? Yo soy Marla y represento Osborne Books and More. También tengo mi compañía, mi empresa. Y si le gusta este video, por favor, marque el clic que sí te gustó y ponme un comentario. Haz un comentario diciendo, Marla, ¿cómo estás? Hi, how are you? My name is Marla. I represent Osborne Books and More, and I also have my own company, Storytamer Books. Anyways, if you like this video, please comment below and like and subscribe and let me know. Anyways, we'll jump right in. And I think I picked the right book. Let's talk about Locke. Let's see, what book should I share today? How about that one? Or maybe that one. Or maybe this one. Oh, I love this one. I love these books. So which one do you want to see? Do you like that one? Is that the one you want? That one? It's called Dave Ramsey, Enter Leadership. How about that one? Now that one. See what it says here? It's concerning human understanding. This is by I'm not copywriting it. I'm not, it's a YouTube video and you can actually go to, I forgot, the Jesus Network. Anyway, I hope this video does not get me in trouble with the copyright people. But this is gonna be a segment on a Locke, and there is something I want to talk about. Okay, I want to talk about Locke goes into slavery. Where did he put it? On the state of nature, slavery. You know what Locke says about slavery? He says, the natural liberty of man is to be free from any superior power on earth and not to be under the will or legislative authority of man, but to have only the law of nature for the rule. The liberty of man in society is to be under no other legislative power but that established by consent. That's what we have in the Commonwealth. That is what we have in America. You consent to laws, not men. So these orders, these masked orders, they're unconstitutional. I have not consented to neither one of them. Okay, these have been issued and imposed upon us, and there is no consent. Most people do not want masks. Okay? Nor under the dominion of any will or restraint of any law, but what that legislator shall enact according to the trust put in it. Freedom then is not what Sir Robert Filmer tells us, observation A55, a liberty for everyone to do what he lists, to live as he pleases, and not to be tried by any law. But freedom of men under government is to have a standing rule to live by. That standing rule is the Constitution and the Bible. We consent to the laws and the Constitution of the United States of America. And that Constitution is not null and void. And if you don't stand up for those rights right now, and you don't start calling your representatives and screaming bloody murder, we're going to lose that Constitution. Anyways, let me continue. Because Locke, he's really awesome. He's amazing. If you haven't read Locke, you got to go get his book. Look, it's this one. You could get it on Amazon. Okay? And let me just continue reading. It's a very short chapter. But he says, where was I? To have standing rule to live by, common to everyone that of that society, and made by the legislative power erected in it, a liberty to follow my own will in all things, where the rule prescribes not, and not to the subject to be subject to the inconstant, uncertain, unknown, arbitrary will of another man. Why did he just say that? Are they doing arbitrary rules upon us? Okay, we're not subject to that. As freedom of nature is to be under no other restraint but the law of nature. The freedom from absolute arbitrary power is so necessary to and closely joined with a man's preservation that he cannot part with it, but by what forfeits his preservation and life together. For a man not having the power of his own life cannot by compact or his own consent enslave himself to any one, nor put himself under the absolute arbitrary power of another to take away life when he pleases. Are we taking away life of the? Are we aborting life? We're taking away a life. Isn't that kind of arbitrary? We're not defending the poor little fetus that is inside a woman's body. We're defending women. Okay, the fetus, the baby in the body, you know, inside, growing inside a woman's body, that they have inalienable rights too. And our government should be protecting all life, not just one life. Nobody can give more power than he has himself, and he that cannot take away his own life cannot give another power over it. Indeed, having by his fault forfeit his own life by some act that deserves death, he to whom he has forfeited it may, when he has him in his power, delay to take it, and make use of him to his own service, and he does him no injury by it. For whenever he finds the hardship of his slavery outweigh the value of his life, in it is in his power, by restricting the will of his master, to draw on himself the death he desires. This is the perfect condition of slavery, which is nothing else but the state of war continued between a lawful conqueror and a captive. For if one's compact enter between them and make an agreement for a limited power on the one side and obedience on the other, the state of war and slavery ceases as long as the compact endures. For, as has been said, no man can by agreement pass over to another man that which he hath not in himself a power over his own life. And everyone in America has a power over his own life, and they cannot pass on that power to anyone without their consent. I confess we find among the Jews, as well as other nations, that men did sell themselves, but it is plain. This was only to drudgery, not to slavery. For it is evident the person sold was not under an absolute, arbitrary, despotical power. King George was our despotic power, and our founding fathers rebelled against him because King George was enslaving the American colonists. For the master could not have power to kill him at any time, whom at a certain time he was obliged to let go free out of his service, and the master of such a servant was so far from having an arbitrary power over his life that he could not at pleasure so much as maim him, but the loss of an eye or a tooth set him free. That is chapter 4 in Locke. And I highly recommend that you get this book. It is only, I don't know how much it was. I don't know. It usually is in the back of the book. I think I bought it for like $10. I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, you could go to Amazon. It's Locke. They have it there. Yes, I am teaching my son this. Yes, I am teaching him Locke because this is the foundation of America. We are a by consent nation, and we consent to the laws, the natural laws that govern us, not to men. So, read it, memorize it, and learn it. And then share it. Or would you like to know about Olga the Pogo? That's my son's favorite read. We're reading this together. Or how about Illustrated Fables from Around the World? That one's a good book. Or a really cool graphic novel? Can I entice you in one of these? Hi everyone, I'm back. Okay, now let me share Osborne books some more. This is Olga the Pogo, and it's an older cover. I believe they changed the cover. It's written by Michael Bond, creator of Paddington and Bear, illustrated by Catherine Rayner. Anyways, this is a really, really cute book. It starts with Olga the Pogo is in the pet store, and she is a dreamer, and she wants an adventure. She wants to get out. She wants to see the world, and she has big ideas. But she wants to go places. But throughout the movie, it's a really, really cute show. She was bought by a little girl, the Sawdust family. And she loves her new home. She is eager to see outside and get out. Something happens though, and she can't walk. She had a little bit of trauma. Anyways, we are far along that my son now wants a guinea pig. So the book is inspirational. It's a classic. It's very cute, and there's a whole lot of mischief in Olga the Pogo. So if your kid is a sort of a Dennis the Menace, or a girl who's full of mischief, I think your kids will love this book. And it's a good bedtime story. That's what we're reading. I'm reading it alongside my son. I still read aloud to my son, by the way. I think it's a good skill. It's really nice, and you bond. So here's the pictures. Look at that picture, isn't that pretty? It's backwards, so I don't want to put the words, but I want to show some of the pictures in it. It's easy to read, so if your kids are reading fluently and um, independent, this book will be a very cute book for them. And it's only $17.99. It's a classic, and I think your kids will love it. Before I go, I'll leave you with one more amazing fable, or collection of fables from around the world. I really love this book. It's the Osborne Illustrated Fables from Around the World, so in this fable book, they have several stories from different parts of the world, and there's one myth from ancient Egypt. The sun was thought to be the eye of the god Ra. It was a powerful weapon, but it was also a living, thinking being, the missing goddess. Ra, great god of the sun, was fuming. How dare she? He raged, pacing back and forth. Now, how dare she run off like that? I should never have allowed it. Never, never, never! Anyways, this is a myth, a story from ancient Egypt about the goddess. And it's really cute. I really love the illustrations in this book. And it's really beautiful. Look at the top. It's really, really beautiful. I think your kids will enjoy learning ancient history from it and some of the lessons in it. Look at that. And this book is only $19.99. But it has a collection of stories. I don't remember how many. Let's see. It has a collection of stories. Let's see. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 stories to enjoy and learn about different cultures. Highly recommend it. I have it, and I think my son loves it, and I think your kids will too. Thank you very much. Don't forget to visit k4699.myubam.com. You're going to see it pop up any minute now. And
around the world in 2020. Ambient noise in some cities fell 50%.
What?
People used transport and factories closed. There were also record falls in air pollution, clearing city skies from Asia to America. But by late 2020, it had returned to pre-pandemic levels. Carbon emissions were also down 7% last year, but the drop won't slow climate change unless we lock in emissions cuts. How quiet was your local area? The World Economic Forum asked. Well, so there you have it. We'll go from lockdowns to lock-ins. Shut down your factories, that's good. Stop people using transport, that's good. Empty the streets, and hey presto, climate change is solved. But before the Guardian go rushing off screaming conspiracy theory, yes, it's a conspiracy, but it's not my conspiracy, it's theirs. And while the lovies are all in a tiz, maybe the Guardian might like to look into this.
Do you enjoy?
Top medics demand an inquiry as families reveal their victims. One UK funeral director said it was a national scandal. Dozens expressed similar frustrations that the causes of death of some elderly and already unwell relatives had been wrongly attributed. 8 of the families who wrote to the Daily Mail have successfully urged their doctors to change the causes of death previously recorded as COVID-19. The claims are part of an investigation that raises serious questions over the UK's spiralling death toll. And no, Ms Davies, that's not Quanon or Chewbacca or anyone else, that's the Daily Mail in the UK. And finally this weekend, if you haven't already read it, there is a superb article in the Weekend Australian by Steve Waters, who savages the West and our insane response to the coronavirus, and who is scathing about the policy of lockdowns. Waterson writes, "Instead of dancing in the streets of our narrow escape, we continue the brutal, self-destructive madness of lockdown, following the example of communist China, one of the last truly totalitarian states on Earth." Waterson says, "Who saw the Chinese welders sealing citizens into their Wuhan apartments and thought, whoa, what a terrific idea that is? Our state leaders did, clearly, and their moronic counterparts around the world." Why moronic to COVID when it first arrived? Did the virus simply tip those teetering on the verge of death into an earlier quarter? Of Britain, that in the past 30 years, Britain has reduced the number of hospital beds from 300,000 to 140,000, i.e. less than half, while adding 10 million people to its population, shed some light on this situation. And then of Sweden in a disaster, Steve Waterson reveals Sweden, poster nation for personal freedom during the pandemic and whipping boy for the lockdown enthusiasts, has recorded a 2020 death rate that has not been matched in its history since, drumroll please, 2015. Steve goes on, "There are many vile diseases out there that can kill you. And the price we have exacted from the healthy to protect the sick, uniquely from this ailment, is out of all proportion, and it need not have been so." He then adds, "So, no self-congratulating leaders, you have not kept us safe. You have destroyed thousands of businesses, families, lives, and futures. You have cheated people of the highlights of human existence, the moments of shared joy and sorrow, the weddings, the births, the anniversaries, the farewells and funerals that mark our journey through life. You have placed unimaginable burdens of debt and despair on future generations and crafted a dangerous template for all the idiots who will surely follow you. And to use your own arrogant formulation, I make no apology for saying that." Steve Waters